We deployed somewhere in the region of close to 20 persons, maybe a little bit more, to 3 islands in the Bahamas, to New Providence, where Nassau is located, Grand Bahama Islands, and Andros, with the express intent to rapidly determine the initial extent of damage to these areas, and to determine the priority needs coming out of the impact of Hurricane Matthew. This would inform much better the broader CARICOM relief processes, but also support key information to the government of Bahamas as to where they may need to accelerate their interventions, both in terms of the more detailed assessment, but also targeting needs. Clearly, what we have found are issues related to storm surge and wind damage. Again, examples of coastal communities and infrastructure that may have been located too close to our coastline, given the current threat of sea level rise. This is an issue that we're going to have to confront going forward, not only in the Bahamas, but in other small island Caribbean states. So the issues we're seeing here in the Bahamas are a key lesson for us to look at in some of our other neighboring islands. Much of the housing stock stood up. Those that did not withstand the waves and the wind were thought to have been poorly constructed, not necessarily in keeping with the very robust building code that exists in the Bahamas. And so we have recommendations that will seek to feature on how these ought to be treated, going from the enforcement requirements, but also looking at capacity building for self-help housing, recognizing that this is certainly a feature within some of these communities. We also have to look at how we will intend to either adapt, or build within proximity of our coastline, whether or not there is enough space to increase setback, and if not, what type or style of development should be introduced in these areas to ensure that people can coexist within proximity to the hazards, recognizing that the height of land in Bahamas is not that extensive. We found needs related to water, to housing, roofing repairs, building material, some food. We recognize that has to be balanced against what is happening globally within the response to Bahamas, and this is something we're going to be looking at. But by and large, the down utility poles, the housing on the coastal areas, agriculture in Andros, which we understand is one of the bread baskets for many of the islands in the Bahamas, is something that is also a concern. Roughly 85 to 90%. Some speculation that up to 100% of losses were sustained in the agricultural sector in Andros, including the fishing, the conch industry, which is a major part of the Bahamian income generating industry here in the Bahamas. We will be providing this information to the CARICOM community to see how we can support in the immediate relief and response. And I want to say that the team performed creditably. We had a multinational team representing CARICOM, the CARICOM community, but also working very closely with the UN community, the UN Damage Assessment Coordination Team, what we call the UNDAC team. We had representatives from the Government of Canada working along with us, representative from Map Action, doing the mapping so we could better understand the spatial representation of the damage. So what we're seeing is Caribbean capacities being expressed. We want to thank all of them. We also want to thank CMC, who has also been with the team in the field, talking with the people in the community, getting a better understanding of the needs. One of the things that came out by having CMC participating with us was understanding the impact to the children, which is significant and should not be under-emphasized. It is important that we look at the psychosocial impact of a Category 3-4 storm passing through the communities here in the Bahamas and impacting children who will be seeing something like this for the very first time. So again, Caribbean solidarity on show.